Hey there, it's Julie Hutchison from Think, Be, Do Leadership. Welcome to Monday, 1 o'clock, our third in the series of looking at the team performance engine, how to create a high-performing team for quiet leaders and introvert business owners. If that's you, then hopefully you've seen the first one and the second one, which was Thursday or Friday. And if not, that's fine. You can go back and have a look at them. And if it's not you, then you may have a quiet leader in your midst somewhere, so it's well worth watching anyway. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to share my screen. Hang on. Sharing screen. Here we go. So this is where we were. We were looking at team performance and what are the elements that bring that up. So here what we're talking about is, how do I look at leadership and creating team performance from, not from this big cloud of like, oh, that sounds lovely, but actually how do you break it down? And so we broke it down into, first of all, 3 issues that we have. And the first 3 issues, so just to recap very quickly, we said that people either can't do something, they just don't do it, or they won't do it. We delved into that and looked at that and said, well, why is that? So if you remember from last week, we said, well, if they can't do it, then it's probably because we haven't enabled them, or we or somebody else hasn't enabled them to do it. If they don't do it, it's probably because they're not excited for what we are doing for some reason. And if they won't do it, it's because they're not engaged in us. So enabled is about them, excited is about the bigger cause, and engaged is about the one-to-one, the relationships that they have with people and you in the business. Okay, so can they do it? Do they care about it? And do they care about you and having that relationship with you? So if we break it down into those 3 things, it's like, well, okay, what do we do about it? Well, we need to, if we want them enabled, we need to give them confidence, capability and confidence. We break that down. If we want them excited, then we need to let them know where we're going, and we need to excite them about that. So we need to give them direction. Okay. And if we want them to want to be with us, want to be in the room with us, and want to be part of what we're doing, then we need to create trust. We need to engage them through creating trust. Okay, because people don't want to be where they don't feel safe. They're not going to work hard. They're not going to work for you if they don't feel safe. So that's where we were. And last week, what we did is we delved into this. If you want people to be enabled and confident, then they need capability, and we talked about this. They need autonomy, and they need clarity. They need to know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, but they also need to be allowed to get on and do it, and to be able to be confident in going and doing that. So what we talked about last week was how you create that capability, but you give them the autonomy to make really good decisions. Because remember, that's what we're talking about, people being able to make good decisions on your behalf or the company's behalf, because you don't want to be doing it. Remind me if I'm wrong, anybody listening here. If you're listening live, let me know. But if you're not listening live, just put replay and then put your answer to this comment. Would you like to be able to let the people in your team step forward when you step back and get on with some of the other more strategic stuff? I guess you would, because being a leader is all about leveraging the people that are around you so that you create more of the good stuff, more productivity. So when you get enabled, confident people, they're capable, they're autonomous, and they're very clear about what they need to be doing. They know how to tick a box, and I don't just mean they are tick box tickers. I mean they know when they've done it right, so they're more confident about doing it. Okay, so that's what we did last week. So this today, we are going to look at this top right-hand section of direction, and then tomorrow we'll look at the bottom section. So here we go. So there are 3 elements. You might be not surprised to know there are 3 elements here. Okay, the first one is vision. And what I mean by that is that so many times I see business owners and people who work in organizations where they're looking at what they want people to do, and they're really great at accounting, or they're really great at spreadsheets, or they're really great at anything, whatever. What did we do last week? Cake making, I think. Okay, but what happens is that as the leader, we're not really clear on why are we doing this and where are we going. So if you think about, talked a little bit about it last week, about if you're going on holiday, and the very first thing that your partner is going to say to you is, where are we going, darling? And that's because they need to know where they're going, because they need to know whether to pack the bikini or their ski suit. Okay, and the same goes for people who work with you and for you. Okay, because if you don't tell them where they're going, they cannot choose to either be excited or not. Those that are not excited by the bigger vision of what you're trying to achieve probably shouldn't be in your team anyway. Okay, so we'll just put them to one side for a second. But the other ones, if they don't know, they're not aware, how can they get excited? How can they join you in your escapade to wherever you're going to? How can they join you in the goals of the organization? Well, they can't, because they have no idea. So all they'll do is, and this is why it's don't do, is all they'll do is what they want to do with the skill that they have. So you've got this confidence on this left-hand side, but essentially they're just going to do whatever they think is the right thing, because they don't really know where you're trying to go. So they'll be coming around a little bit blind, let's say, of the big picture. So this clarity on the left-hand side, down at the bottom, that green, is all about detail. But this is about big picture of like, well, why am I even doing this? What are we trying to achieve here? How does it all fit together? And so often I see, particularly more quiet people, more introvert people, don't necessarily really get clarity for themselves on this, because they're very, very good at being in what I call in the weeds, doing a lot of stuff, getting things done, but actually not really stepping back and coming out and saying, where am I trying to get to? Now, it's great if you know where that is. And that's why I've put vision. You need to know what you stand for, what you believe in, and why you want to do the things you want to do. And the reason for that is because if you don't know it, nobody else is going to know it. Okay. And also, if you haven't really got that really clear for yourself, then you can't really direct people in any direction at all, because it doesn't really matter if you haven't decided. You're just making widgets, but you don't really know, what's the purpose of all of this, and how do I want it to look? Okay. And in the Leaders Launchpad, what we do is we break this down super, super clear about understanding your beliefs, your values, and how that creates the business that you are in, whether that be part of a bigger business or whether it's your business. And it creates that business because it looks at, why am I here? What am I really trying to achieve? So it brings in the passion and the performance to your business. Now, that's really great too, except for the fact that that's not enough. And if you just do that, it's all in your head. And the problem is people still can't follow because you've got it. Now, often we see businesses with a really lovely vision on the wall or in their drawer when they get it out for the bank manager or something like that, sits in their business plan or something. But actually, the problem is what we don't do is translate that vision into what I call the mission, which is telling everybody else about it, getting other people excited for it, and showing them how that's going to look and what it's going to be like. So breaking it down to the reality of what life's going to be. So the next piece is this mission. And I'm just going to blow my nose. Hold on a second. Okay, so what I mean by this is that if you imagine that your vision is in your head, they're not mind readers. So if you just have it in locally on your desk or something like that, it's not going to work. What you need to do is a communication. And I don't just mean a one-off communication. You need to communicate it. You need to get people to buy in to this vision. And the great thing is here is that you'll find out who buys in and who doesn't. And this is where you can say goodbye to a few people that really don't agree with your vision and don't want to come on your mission. But the people that do can really, really get excited for it. And they really believe in it. And they're like, yep, absolutely. I get what you're trying to achieve here and I'm in. Okay, so if they've only got this thing on the right hand side and not on the left hand side or the bottom, they might be in for your mission and your vision, but they might not have the confidence or be enabled on the other side. So you've got to have both pieces. And again, at the bottom, they might not have the engagement, the trust, even if they believe in the vision and the mission. Does that make sense? I think it does. It does to me anyway. And if it does to you, let me know. Okay, and so again, that's something that we look at on the Leaders Launchpad, which is how do we really communicate in a way that does excite people and does really make people want to join us on the route that we're going to take and the goals that we want. Now you'll see there's still one piece left there, and that is super, super important, and we spend a huge amount of time on working in the Leaders Launchpad, and that is around your mindset. Because in order for people to be excited and take that direction that you want, then they have to be able to join in. And the problem I see with many people who, especially if it's their own business, what I see is that the mindset isn't there of leverage. The mindset is still either through guilt or through just not being used to delegating and having people around you and allowing to let go a little bit. That mindset is not there. The mindset of a leader is not there. So we need to delve into what is the mindset of a leader. And that really is massively important, because if you don't have this, what you'll be doing is you won't be delegating out. You won't be letting them follow you, you'll just be doing it for them. So you'll find yourself still, getting in there and feeling guilty for having to or for giving things away. So you won't. So we need to encourage you to have the mindset of a leader, to have the leveraged mindset, and look at things from that viewpoint of true leadership. Because otherwise you're going to be the busy person no matter what. So that you need to let them buy in. You need to tell them to buy in, but you also need to help you to buy into the fact that you're the leader, not the doer. Okay, so very, very important piece, and there's a huge piece that we do on that. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, that if we have got 2 out of the 3 now, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as what was his name, Meatloaf said. Who knew we'd be talking about meatloaf on this one? So 2 out of 3 aren't bad, but it's not enough, because now what we've got is people that can do, so they're enabled and they're confident. We've given them, the understanding of how to do something and the confidence to make some good decisions. They now know where their decisions are meant to be aimed at, so they can join in on buying into our bigger cause on the right-hand side. But what we need to do tomorrow is look at how do we engage people? How do we get them to trust us, and not trust us and just not to nick the handbag, but to actually trust us, to have their back so that they can really grow and take chances and be part of the team and really, really be understood by us, be accepted into that team, and to really be able to be part of it and to be able to thrive in that environment, so they can really step up. Okay, so tomorrow that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at that final piece, and then we will be on to looking back at, well, what does that mean for me on the day after? Okay, so I hope that was useful for you. If you find that useful, then by all means, I'm going to put that across the front there. I'll stop sharing for a second. Ooh, stop screen. There we go. So if you would like to find out how you can actually work on these with myself, then please feel free to join us on the Leaders Launchpad. Have a little look at this. In fact, I'm going to put it in the comments again. Hang on a second. There you go. That's about the Leaders Launchpad program. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about how we actually implement, because I've told you what this is all about, but how do we implement this model and follow the process of creating your team performance through creating your impact and influence as a leader, then click that link and have a look at that, and you can book in a call with me to discuss how and if we can help you to achieve that. If you would like to also, you may join the Facebook group where we talk about this a lot and other leadership things. So there you go. I just put that on the screen as well, and I'll put that in the comments too, so that you can click to join the Facebook group. Let's put that in there. There we go. Okay, so as I said, we've done 2 out of the 3. We've done can't do and don't do. We've enabled people. We've given them confidence. We've excited them and given them direction. And tomorrow we're going to look at won't do. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock. And in the meantime, found out about the Leaders Launchpad. We actually start our new cohort at the end of April. So you are very welcome to join us there or find out more about it. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. And let's see if we can look at the rest of this tomorrow. See you.